Certainly, from the first three games, not just the last one, there's things to learn, there's things to build on, and things to correct, and like the guys approach this morning, and we just got to have a great week of preparation and give ourselves the best chance we can against, like I said, a really good Iowa football team. They're always a heck of a game and heck of a test, and first one back it was 15, and we had 5 turnovers and a great defensive game, and they're always. What's fun about playing Iowa, and really I think what's neat about the game of football, is you earn everything that you get, and nothing will be given to you, and that's it's a pretty neat way to play this game, and it's going to take everyone, it's going to take all units, and it's when you play a good team, when you play any team, it's it's never easy, and you gotta be on point, and that's why those are fun games to be in, and you gotta be ready for them. Well, I think every time you play, there's things at stake, and what's at stake is the opportunity of that day, and I think that when you've got good football teams, that makes for good rivalries, and I think all that's a byproduct of it, though. That. This game is about this week and us getting a chance to play a really good Iowa team at Iowa, and then you play the whole season. But this is just about this week, our team against their team. Right. I think, it's emotion is a part of the game, and we talk about it all the time. There's momentum swings caused by plays being made or not being made that affects emotion of the game. And yet I think that really comes down to playing good football. And when you get the opportunity, and you don't know, you talk about all the time, you hear about it all the time, that those 5, 6, 7, 8 plays, whatever that is in a game, that you look back and those become very significant. They become part of probably yours and everyone's narrative. And what's awesome when you're playing the games, you don't know when those plays are going to come. And it's really not until the story unfolds, the game unfolds, that you look back and say that was one of those plays. And therefore you just, you got to play it, each play, and be into it. And I think that is a byproduct of it. I think our guys came out and were ready to play and had opportunities for plays, and a little bit here, a little bit there. When you made them, that's a big play. They're ready, and if you don't, I don't think necessarily that you weren't ready. It's just you didn't make that play. I think, like any good defense, you're going to start up front, and they've got a really good defensive front and making plays, and we're just going through it right now and talking to our kids. The linebackers, maybe don't have as many starts, but you watch them and they know what they're doing and they trust themselves, and they're really good football players. So, up front they're doing a really good job, and in the back end they've all played. So I think there's guys that have played and playing with confidence. Obviously, it's a really well-coached defense, and the reason I think you can say that is because the players know what they're doing, and again, they're not going to give you anything. You got to earn every bit of it, and they have enough change-ups that you got to be on point. So I think I think they are playing really good defense, and it'll be a good challenge for us. It's every individual. It's different. You can't just say the O-line needs to do this. It's what's Michael Dieter got to do. What's Bo got to do. What's every individual. JT, where can he grow? And then you have to, and you get to put it all together. And so I think when you say what are the areas for growth, it's each one's got them, and that makes for a lot of them. And yet, I think it's a group. I like the group, and we just got to continue to improve and go. And what's also great about this game is expectations or whatever's being said. That doesn't matter. It's about the game and how you play it and what you do now. And I think we've done some good, and there's areas we got to improve on. And this group wants to to be as good as it can be, and that's all you can ask for as a coach, and our job is to help them get there. I think it starts with, what can a player control most is himself, and then I think he can then affect others. And I think every individual has to have, what's their why? Why are they doing what they're? What's your competitive edge? And that can't all apply necessarily to the whole team. And then at the same time, collectively, we've got to have, an edge and a purpose. And yet I think then once you have that, that paints the vision, and then the vision with a plan is how you achieve that. And so you certainly have to have that as a team, and more importantly, I think each individual has to have it. And I think that when you ask, I think it's got to be both, and there has to be something has to motivate you, and something has to motivate each position group and each, whether it's offense or defense, whether it's the team, and that's what's fun about a team sport is a team's made up of individuals. So you got to have the individual component, and you got to have the team component to it, and believe in both. And I also believe in the game is where you get to do it and focus on playing the game, and that's what you can also bring to the team. I think Caden's doing, he's growing, and I think each game in many ways he's gotten better. Each game, what's interesting is when you play, for example, with Caden, not all three, it's not like he played against the same three teams and all the same things happen, so that you can truly say, well, he did this versus this block this game, and then he did a little bit better that same block, and so it's different. You're tested each week differently, and I've been proud of the way Caden's working at it, and been showing up in other areas that he can improve upon. No different than anyone else in this team, absolutely. But I like what he's doing. Yeah, I think that you're trying to. There's certainly a feel component to it. How is the game going? What point in the game is it? How many possessions do you think? And you don't know all those, right? Like, is it a more limited possession game, and therefore how many more kicks at the can are you going to get? I think it certainly plays off of how is your defense doing, and if you were not to get it, you got to weigh quickly, what that means to the rest of it, and so I think there's a lot that goes into it. In the end, you have to, you better have confidence that you're going to get. And it's not guaranteeing that you're going to get, but you better have confidence, have something that you can go to. And if you're searching for that, then I think then you play a little bit more to the numbers. If you talk about the inexperience and you talk about the three starters, it's Fayon, it's Caesar, it's Scott Nelson. I think they've all done some really good things. And even Madison Cohen played a little bit last year, but didn't play a lot, and so I like, they've made progress. Is there more progress to be made? Absolutely, and I think there's also more progress that can be made for Deron Harrell, and we're going to need a bunch of them, and so I couldn't tell you I'm disappointed with them. Right, I like what they've been doing, and yet they're 3 games into it, and there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to build on, and there's more to learn. None of us arrive, right? There's never a point of arrival, and I like some of the stuff they're doing, and I think, and you can go down the list. Matt Henningsen's done some really good stuff, and yet, Matt come. It's been good to get Isaiah back in. Isaiah's played more. We talked about Caden, so I think and I'm not trying to dodge it. I really think guys are progressing, and yet there's more. They can get more out of themselves, and we can help them do that, and that's what's the whole season. You try to grow and get better. Well, I think you've got to just move forward, and the group has to help each other, and and I think it helps. It's probably easier for us because you go and you play the game, and then you get a chance to watch tape and go over the tape with the players, and you point out the things that are within what they can do, have done at times, controllables, and then you take those lessons that apply to going forward. And that's all part of it. You can win a game and a player could play the same way. And those are the things that he has to work through, or maybe a group does that. This isn't unique to – it's not like every one of these players have been in a similar type of a situation. And how do you handle any of it? It's what can you take away from it, learn from, and how do you move forward? There's some good that we can build on, and there's, we have not arrived. We didn't think we arrived. And, each week we're going to get tested differently. So that's what's kind of fun about playing the game is you have to go out and do it again. And even if you were great, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to be great the next game. You get to go do it again, and that's what's fun about playing this sport.